Okay, guys, I'm trying like drain my battery so I could talk to my boyfriend on my laptop. Cause my phone's been stupid lately. Yeah, see, I had to get connected. I just don't care for this cell phones. Hey, Destiny, I can't hear that. Excuse you. Like, sorry, Mommy. That's okay. I see you. Yeah. Come in now, take a nap. That's a good girl. Okay, let's do top 5 deadliest serial killers all time. Come on. Why do you do this to me, phone? See, I mean...
Some people can't even cook dinner 3 or 4 times a week. Like, how'd you have time to murder 3 to 4 people a week?
Known as the Mangrove Monster, Daniel Barbosa was born to a rich family in the small town of Analema, Colombia. On May 2nd, 1974, he saw a 9-year-old girl walking to school. He then lured her to a secluded area, raped her, and then strangled her to death. 10 years into his sentence, in 1984, Barbosa saw a rowboat on the beach. He jumped in and started rowing for the mainland.
In a rowboat? Boy, if you don't... Okay.
So went on killing until February 26, 1986. During his arrest, he confessed to killing 72 girls in Ecuador.
72?
That's a lot.
They thought he was dead that whole time, so that's why it was kind of easy for him to do that. That makes sense.
Oh my
The reason
God.
he chose children was because he wanted virgins because they cried. For him, he wanted to punish women's unfaithfulness.
Terrible.
Before he could get out, Barbosa was stabbed to death in prison
Amazing.
in November of 1994 by Giovanni Noguera. As it turns out, he was a nephew of one of Barbosa's previous victims.
Wow. Oh my God, he was a nephew of a victim? Dude, that's that retribution type shit.
A former Russian police officer has now become the worst serial killer in the country's history.
The man in question is Mikhail Popkov. He's nicknamed the Werewolf. He's 53 years
The
old.
werewolf. He looks like a vampire.
And he raped almost all of his victims before killing them. Their ages ranged between 17 and 38 years of age in the region, one of the regions in Siberia. Now, what he did is he lured women into his car. He waited for
I'm
them
not
outside
against
clubs,
Russian people, but
lots of
what's
other
some
public places,
people
and then he
Russian
would offer them
wants
a
to
lift
kill?
or fun in the woods, and then he would rape and kill them with an axe, a knife, a bat, or other hand.
But I was a good husband. That title says, I may be one of Russia's worst serial killers, but I was a good husband. Does he not consider himself cheating on his wife when he's raping these people?
Weapons. He's a former policeman, and he used his status
Was a policeman.
offering those victims lifts and
They end up dying, which is terrifying.
to the remote areas that we talked about. Now, the latest twist in this very disturbing man's tale is the fact that it's come to light that despite being convicted
82.
Back in January 2015 for the murder of 22 victims,
82 women?
Additional 60.
Between 1992 and 2010. That means that the police
That's a lot.
would bring the total up to 82 victims, making him the worst serial killer in Russia.
Wow. But he was a good husband and dad, though, even though he was raping and killing other women. Checks out.
What a loser. Wonder if he, like, remembers all of his victims. Because, like, I know there's that trope of, like, killers keeping trinkets from each of their kills. And I'm like, I don't even think it's a trophy. I think it's to remember.
Pedro Alonso Lopez, aka the Monster of the Andes, was born on 8th of October in 1948. It is believed that Lopez started killing young girls
keep
in the
playing in this.
1970s. His victims were usually of poor backgrounds. He made his way to Peru, where he would lure his victims to remote areas, committing rape and murder. By the late 70s, he had made his way to Ecuador, where dozens of girls began to go missing as well.
I hate seeing their pictures.
Lopez killed on a regular basis, slaying 2, sometimes 3 girls every week, every month.
Every week? Every week.
Over a 3-year-long murder rampage. Lopez was proud of his actions. He told Ron Lake,
Why are you proud of it? Me, if I did
"I'm the man of the
something
century. No one will ever
dumbass, stupid
Look at
thing,
this
killing
mother-
people,
I don't
yeah, my
curse on these
sentence will be
channels.
incarcerated
But I will
or gonna
today.
be death.
Dude, this guy's the biggest.
It was funny because in the beginning I was like, oh, he looks kind of sad. But he's so proud of himself.
Lopez was eventually captured as he tried to snatch another young girl in 1980. Luckily for her, the 10-year-old's mother saw Lopez walking away hand in hand with her daughter Maria, and then she started screaming. Lopez then took police to the graves of 53 of his victims. 2 months later, in 1980,
Is he
pleaded
proud of
guilty
it or
to
something?
110 charges of murders.
I mean, if I do that, like,
Wipe that
I-
smile
I
off
feel
your
guilty. Did
face,
that?
You garbage human being.
Imagine being like the mother or father of your kid, and you look at this guy in the corner, and you're seeing him just have this grin on his face.
110 charges
He's
of
with
murders.
himself.
Police said the killer could have been charged with a total of 350 murders of missing girls, but additional trials in Colombia and Peru would have been too complex and costly. Because of Ecuador's
That-
laws at the time,
that's
Lopez only
Peru and
received a
Colombia.
maximum sentence of 16 years.
What? This man, this scum, took the lives of over 300 people, and you gave him a sentence that was no older than the people he raped and killed.
Pedro Lopez has been a free man for at least 20 years now.
That's
and
a
no
lot
one
of people
knows
to
where he
kill.
is or whether he's still alive.
Oh my god. What?
He could be killing right now. That's so dumb.
On December 1999,
Does the Colombia and
received a disturbing
Peru
letter that
get
killed
away
and
from
raped
it in
over
the
100
serial
young
killers or
boys
something?
between the age of 6 to 16.
Because in US,
Consists of orphans
you can't
and
get
refugee
away from
children
it because
who
you
have
get
systems to look
a
for,
sentence
where I
to
would
death
beat them,
or
so I could
incarcerated,
beat them
or you
and
can
strangle them to death,
get
to murder them,
electrocuted
I would
or
dismember their bodies and immerse them in beds of
get
flammable
hanged.
acid. I would then dump
And
their
you got no
bodies
choice.
at a nearby river. The killer was none other than Japet Iqbal. He said the purpose of the letter he gave to the authorities was so that he would make them aware of how much the children in the streets
Because
were
in
neglected.
yes, we do have law in here.
Once he's released, he would get back to the authorities by killing exactly 100 children,
So he thought he was doing like a social service?
not more, not less. Iqbal was sentenced to death, where he would be executed by strangulation in public at the place where he would always find his victims. This punishment is called qisas, a Sharia legal concept of punishment where the criminal is punished in the same way they tortured or murdered their victims.
That's good. I feel like it's fitting.
Low key, that's fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I'm kind of down with that.
Right.
October 8, 2001.
Okay, guys, sorry about eruption. So, almost done with this.
Sajid Ahmad were found dead in their cell as they hung themselves using their bed sheets.
I hate when they do that. It's like, you're such a coward.
That's pretty stupid. It's not even symbolic or anything. It's just dumb. It's like petty. It's like petty because you're bad.
In the late 60s, a civil war took place in Colombia which would last for decades. In fact, we can still see the impact this war had on the Colombians' lives. Thousands of Colombians, including children, were left homeless and driven to live in the dangerous streets teeming with crime. These children had no parents or relatives to take care of them, and they were the perfect targets for someone with twisted desires such as Luis Garavito, world's deadliest serial killer, who was nicknamed the Beast due to the terrible nature of his crimes. One would think that being subject to such a terrible childhood, Garavito would never wish the same thing to happen to his enemy. However, he did the exact opposite.
That's always the case for these guys. Like, they have a crappy childhood.
Garavito violated and murdered homeless boys between the age of 6 and 16. He was called the Beast for a reason. His victims were tortured and raped, and their throats were slashed. Some of the victims were also dismembered or decapitated. He went on with his life of crime for 7 years.
7 years?
That's
It
it.
was determined that Garavito killed anywhere from 150 to 400 boys. He was sentenced to 1,853 years in prison, but because he cooperated with the police and helped them
That's
find
a
the
lot.
victims' bodies, his sentence was reduced to 22 years, and he is scheduled to be released in 2021. According to his guard,
That's not right.
Garavito is a relaxed and respectful prisoner.
Is this the Columbia
He's
thing?
currently studying to be a politician and start a career in activism to help abuse children.
The best part is how nonchalant the narrator sounds saying that, as if it isn't the silliest thing in the world.
He wants to help abuse children. Well, at least we'll know what the abuse was like because the abuser is telling us about it.
Probably unlikely. It shouldn't even be a probability. This should be a 100% keep his ass behind bars.
I don't understand why there was a vote there. Like, all this is just...
Alright guys, I will see you I will see you in my last video, so I will see you then.